find.
Oh, okay then.
About many things. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we.
You're pointing at the sea. Wait.
No, people call the waters around. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. He would skip and jump. But now, the water is it won't be long.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you...
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our child. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we...
I see.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at...
Seems you were...
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the...
Oh, that. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain... Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't...
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, Traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon.
Please, don't take offense.
Oh, all right then. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydroarch.
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. And please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems...
So, she's the Hydroarchon?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise... As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and her companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will, of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only... But the Hydroarchon's entrance was... Miss Hydroarchon? How did you...
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette?
Whoa. Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks?
Is she...
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Fer... Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about.
Ooh, I've got to see this. I knew...
You may consider this my reward to...
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you...
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front...
Stand down, Clorend. I admire... Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave...
Oh, yeah, she's right.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor.
You see... Then...
Whoa, all right. Now that'll be worth seeing.
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand opera house, it would be a pity not to use it.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little... Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have... According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within...
Oh, so that's what they've done.
You call that obvious?
Precisely!
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. But if you would allow me to interject... I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of...
You tell her, Linny! Finally someone who's not crazy. How could any...
Great magician, Linny. My beloved.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the response. So, with such an audience gathered here,
ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
there. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that?
Huh? I'm not sure what to think.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of...
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. But when there are but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss...
Just like that, she's gone. Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. We never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was real...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little... So, Now do you see what kind of...
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. Is that a...
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in...
But isn't the Opera House where...
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this...
My brother's always excited to make...
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Splendid. Oh, you really mean it? Then this is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that, I'm not sure exactly when it began. It says that every person in Fontaine is... Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine... In the end, the people will all...
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin?
There are lots of guesses. Some others say that the people of Fontaine... But here in
If even the...
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years... Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a... We hope that at least as a magical...
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day!
Now, if...
So you're the blonde traveler. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. Thanks. Oh, please.
What's this? So you...
What? You mean you don't...
No, I believe in the prophecy. But the story says that people once lived in the ocean. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're going...
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that...
I don't want that thing. Wait, life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future?
You should still take...
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that... if I start...
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people... Yes, but that will change once disaster...
Is there anything else?
Yes, one
So, you want to...
Oh, that would...
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect for maritime flowers.
Wish me luck.
Made quick work of that. I can tell you're inexperienced. Maybe next time you'll feel like...
No way.
Fine. Though the...
So, we're going to the...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps you two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she... All right, let's...
Go, Barbara, go! Don't blink!
Get out of here!
I'll protect us. This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh no! Did she notice us? She said, what should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's...
Get out of here! Take cover!
Incoming! Yeah!
A blade embraces its duty. As the jeweler cherishes their gems.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was... Anyway, I should be going.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her.
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure
Oh, did you get hurt, Linny?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle.
if you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get...
I have to admit, but at least we were able to get the stolen item.
What a slippery little thief!
All right, let's put this little detour behind us.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious...
This is an aqua bus. It allows people. It's pretty convenient, but the ride.
So you mean it's still boring, even...
No, that's not what I meant. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on.
Huh?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
Oh, I never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aqua bus. In the story of my life, this is big news. What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence. But as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming. Though we still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us.
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Charlotte, a reporter from...
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper.
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly does... So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials of the... You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships. Or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. Ah, you're right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive sensation... Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case...
You mean the serial disappearances of...
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the... If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked... Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will...
So, what is the serial disappearance?
That's right! The first missing girl case happened, and ever since, after a period of time. But the scariest part is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case. But shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either...
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to
Please don't imagine that,
I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
The ride went by too quickly.
Oh, I have an inter-
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to...
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone.
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first?
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all.
Incoming! Speed of light!
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home.
Oh,
I see. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is...
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a...
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. Wait, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of material.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the under...
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it...
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go up... Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be... Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept.
Sorry, it might be because... It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show. On the day of the performance, just ride the aquabus to the island of Araneus. I'll have...
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help. I'm afraid that Fremine can be...
No trouble at all. Don't worry, we're...
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to...
Oh, no need.
Fresh fruit, sweeter than syrup.
Hello?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made?
Oh, no, we're just here to deliver...
Ah, these must be from Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. No need. They've already but they insisted on paying...
Whoa.
I can't say for sure, but who knows?
Hey, is this machine what you use to make stuff here?
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a...
But where does a big machine like that get its power?
Well, but basically, everything we usually use here in the...
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely... When a trial is in session, the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardiaque...
So that's what its other function is? But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy.
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before. Besides indemnitium, we have another it isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already
You again! Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Kabut?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end?
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on! Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own? If Confrérie of Kabut wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a—
You're from Northland Bank.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, but it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to—
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey.
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you—
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and— Listen to me, boy. If you want your Mora, fine.
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and—
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our client, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take—
Yeah, bring it on! Riptide! You can run, but you can't hide.
Oh, what's your deal, Brad? How are you so
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I—
Strange. How could that happen? First time—
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for—
Well, I guess it's because—
Huh? What kind of reason is that?
I don't know. Maybe I still— But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside—
Maybe you—
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. She was always quiet and very— One time, because I had a—
But what is it?
She never explained that. In my dream, I was in the—
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought it—
It takes that shape because the scene—
So you used the whale as inspiration. So why don't you—
You make it sound so easy, but it's been years now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm out of— Oh,
What? More
no.
official—
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their— The champion duelists are all so engaging in— And the worst case scenario, though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why get...
So, do many people actually get out of their
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation Besides, apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clarend, is the strong...
Well, that's child for ya.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have...
Huh? Your vision?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to.
Whatever.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling... Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing! The whodunits here in Fontaine are It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, Lenny said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus! People standing around the fountain.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our
I guess if there are, kid, then there's no doubt.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here.
Ah! Lynette!
Lenny asked me to...
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon.
I see. I might be able to tell you some. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hyper...
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But
when do you cry?
Wait, what?
Just answer me. When do you...
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon...
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flow... So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing...
Rather than worrying about them, don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance.
Oh, right. That makes...
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world.
I can tell, but you're actually right on time. The audience still has... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved yours.
Ooh, front row seat!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's...
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go... Oh, these should be our seats. Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kinda awkward if we don't say anything. You little...
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that...
Oh! So you heard all of that, did ya? Wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. Oh! Paimon's got it. You're...
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linny would like to be my friend, I would be more...
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then. Oh, this is getting more awkward by the... Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you...
Ah, Mr. Linny. I should say it is in fact an honor for me.
Wait.
I saw you all chatting just now. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much...
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their use. And by the way, I should probably let you know, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise she...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied...
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right. Please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her...
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely... So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to... Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods.
Oh, good point. That's what makes...
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of...
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills... To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see...
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her...
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed, but our magical journey has only just begun. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was in which case, I have ample... So, for my next trick, I will require the Please, if my assistants could bring up... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is... I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already... Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. Now please, everyone pay very close...
Wow! How's he... Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks? Or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by it selects numbers entirely. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully You don't need to do anything, but no matter what, if the magic is interrupted...
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the like this. 60, 59, 58. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be... Oh, and no tricks now. If you...
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it. Come on, repeat after me.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right.
54, 53? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, alright. You looked so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling a...
40, 39!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example...
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't...
25! 24!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but...
Never mind the decorations. There's no...
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect.
19! 18!
It seems things aren't quite going as... It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tough. 10 seconds and change.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Is this part of the... Mr. Linney, you're going to use magic.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the... Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the... As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is... It appears that this incident was not merely some... And there are many indications that it is connected with the case.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances.
Huh? Why me? This whole...
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared. Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things...
That can't be right. He was in the box on the stage the entire time. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an
Huh? I just think that he...
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, my dear people. That's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met. Then there's no problem at all. You know, but with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw, so no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the...
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charge it. Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate. Linny and his troupe are all potential suspects, and shall remain with... The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been...
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the... Good to hear. Thank you so much for... I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is... I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I asked for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear. I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered, even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them.
I think they look cute on...
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching our every move, a good thing you agreed.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just like... since we're going to start investigating...
Oh, well...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured... But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can...
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd have...
Huh? What?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troop long, he was hardworking, and everyone generally... The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find... However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pirate. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely.
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good?
Well, you can't...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is... I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just, anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourself.
Linny's still talking to the guards. I think someone...
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, if you find any new and interesting leads...
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it much mind. But now that the I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the...
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough... Oh, that's true.
That does remind Paimon...
The investigation team has some new findings.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky... Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for...
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that... I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it... In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the...
That much checks out. Linny reserved our...
Let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Linny's... So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that... Wait!
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members, the seats were all booked in advance. So we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find them. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a... Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her... The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial...
Were the victims of previous cases...
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the...
Okay, then.
No need to be so formal. It is of utmost importance that we...
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorn.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina Di? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, You name it. Spina di Rosula does it, and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus, Demoiselle's very...
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the other...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to...
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the That's right. I've always kept it. Judging from the look of things,
Really? We think so too, but how did you...
Intuition, naturally. My Farina sure was quick to point the finger, but that's not uncommon for... Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels...
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydra...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well...
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus?
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too, no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, then if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with... Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become...
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got...
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at...
No, we're not leaving. Were you always guarding...
Yes, after... So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, I doubt.
How can you be...
Well, I couldn't see, but still, I did not abandon my... We Melazines are...
So, it's safe to say the girl All right, thank you for your help. This'll be useful... We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lenny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift.
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specific. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box.
I see. So that.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be.
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our.
We really don't know how.
If not for that interlude, and yet, to think that. Could we have a look around?
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it...
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why?
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour one and here's a broken vase.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this time. Oh, clothes at the... Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that? Ugh, this is so confusing. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this...
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're...
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns.
Apologies for the wait, Demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels!
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance? No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld...
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. That's right. This is how the statements from both sides, to put it simply...
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the...
Once both sides have finished speaking, then, finally...
Huh?
In practice, there is... yes, the guard...
Huh?
Because we've chosen to...
They're concerned that... And even if that were not...
I'm ready to break out at...
Whoa, there's...
Of course. I just hope you don't mind.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better way...
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad... Just kidding! Paimon will still...
What do you mean, no...
Huh?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's big...
I have eggs, sugar, and...
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit...
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled... From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will... Anyway, give these a try.
Only through...
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't...
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's... No need for concern.
All right, then. Down to business. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found but the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand, nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any...
Were we not from the sound of things? This is turning into an Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell...
They are my specialty, after all.
What? 5?
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweet...
No. Being greedy is one thing, but besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then maybe...
All right, Maloose, set up the...
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course?
Exactly. We don't want to...
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and all.
Well...
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help, and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find an...
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
Onwards. We have work to do.
Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no...
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects... Besides...
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did...
To be honest?
No. We're already...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most...
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have...
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime.
Yes, that's...
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lenny is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact,
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I...
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the word... Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually...
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with...
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is...
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us...
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to reestablish the first. When the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members. Are these claims true? Please answer my...
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already...
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you... In that case, my dear audience, let's elect...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydroarch... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We based our entire reasoning on the not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the... But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities.
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities. That's why I didn't wish to flat out... The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we... Right. So, you be the judge. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me.
Sorry. Please.
Well, You both say that, but... Right, let's hear your...
Of course. I'll answer any. We've been trying to find out how the origin. During our investigations, from that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution, and on the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground. But the countdown was almost finished. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we—
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the—
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that if we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue—
That took long enough. Now then, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud— He did not realize that this sound could be heard by Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the device. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of—
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linney experienced and what he saw. Seems this won't... According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey. Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth. Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed trick.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House space. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete... Finally, he reached the surface. And that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the... Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're... Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to... Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
might need to give this more thought. That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear any. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the base. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper.
Huh? That can't be. The killer?
Oh, is that?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny as well. The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. Lenny was not in the The sound we heard may... The deceased's name is Cow... Halsey's clothing... No one entered or left the opera. It would have been tough for both people to... No one entered or left...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you you still having trouble figuring things?
I see how it is. So this was all just a...
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem... And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The...
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a
Just a moment, please. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic... Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection.
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it,
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. Each the notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are...
the primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by...
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving...
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go. Just try...
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be... Guards, please continue examining the items of... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis...
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be...
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make... Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water...
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. but was instead some form of The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
It's Ace Detective Pipe! In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh.
That actually links together a lot of the more.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they are. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Does this not clear all my dear citizens, my loyal audience? Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using... But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like... Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice.
Excuse me, everyone, but I must...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh. Right before... What in the world is...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting... But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasul, but as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
sorry for the...
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of... I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the... I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then, before I knew it, she caught...
That'll teach you to underestimate...
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell.
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so that's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been, but I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector, he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought, so I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear, had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm...
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story. The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out. The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between... Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann had her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann... He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out, and with no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the cup. She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to...
Ah, so bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak again? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended.
What, are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments.
Wow! Look at that! She's
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young... To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the... While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared.
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vault. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lynn?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or what?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one...
I was just following. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a lot. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water, it can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true?
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member, I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself. Just as for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was one back when our parents first died. Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after—
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he—
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was—
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And they have— I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. All I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the Knave—
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even Father, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. I was hesitant to trust her. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from—
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decision. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as—
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs.
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers. Sorry. I might have—
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to Sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to anyway. It would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss Navi is treating—
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine?
All right then.